Chapter 1. Pig's Big Soup Idea. Benny the pig loved to cook. He loved stirring, mixing, and tasting, but most of all he loved making soup. One bright morning, he woke up with a big idea. He sat up in bed, his little curly tail wiggling with excitement. "I'm going to make the best soup ever," he squealed. "A soup so good, so delicious that all my friends will talk about it forever." Benny hurried to the kitchen. He grabbed his biggest pot and his favorite wooden spoon. He put on his striped apron and his chef's hat, which was a little too big and kept slipping over his eyes. "This is going to be amazing," he said, rubbing his hooves together. But when he opened his pantry, oh no, the shelves were empty. No carrots, no tomatoes, no onions, no anything. "Oh, piglets and peppercorns," Benny groaned. "How can I make the best soup ever if I have nothing to put in it?" He thought for a moment. Then his ears perked up. "I know, I'll go on an adventure. I'll find the yummiest ingredients and make a soup like no other." With a happy oink, Benny grabbed his basket and trotted out the door, ready to find the tastiest things the forest had to offer. Little did he know this adventure would be full of riddles, dancing, and a few silly surprises. With a happy oink, Chapter 2, The Carrot Conundrum. Benny trotted down the forest path, humming a little tune. His basket bounced with each step. Before long, he reached a big, leafy burrow. Sitting outside was Benny the bunny, munching on a bright orange carrot. "Good morning, Bunny," Benny the pig said with a cheerful oink. Benny the bunny wiggled his nose. "Good morning, pig. What brings you to my burrow?" "I'm making the best soup ever," Benny the pig said proudly. "And I need the yummiest ingredients. Do you have any carrots I could use?" Benny the bunny's ears twitched. "Carrots are my favorite food," he said. "They're crunchy, sweet, and make my whiskers wiggle, but I can't just give one away." Benny the pig's ears drooped. "Oh, you can't?" Benny the bunny tapped his chin. "Nope, you must answer my riddle first." Benny the pig gulped. "Oh dear, I'm not the best at riddles." "Don't worry," Bunny said with a grin. "I'll make it easy." He cleared his throat and said, "I grow in the ground, I'm long and sweet. Rabbits love me as a treat. What am I?" Benny the pig's snout scrunched up in thought. He tapped his hoof against his chin. Something that grows in the ground, long and sweet. His eyes lit up. "A candy cane?" Benny the bunny burst out laughing. "A candy cane? No, no, no." "Oh, right," Benny the pig said, blushing. "Candy canes don't grow in the ground." Benny the bunny tried again. "Think, pig, it's orange." Benny the pig's tail twitched. Oh, I got it! A carrot! Ding, ding, ding! You got it!" Benny the bunny cheered, hopping up and down. He reached into his basket and pulled out the biggest, crunchiest carrot he could find. "Here you go, pig! One special carrot for your soup!" Benny the pig beamed. "Thank you, Bunny. This is going to make my soup extra tasty." With the carrot safely in his basket, Benny the pig waved goodbye and trotted off, ready to find his next ingredient. Little did he know, his next stop would involve dancing and tomatoes. Chapter 3. The Tomato Tango. Benny the pig trotted along the winding forest path, his basket bouncing against his side. The carrot inside looked bright and crunchy, but he knew he needed more ingredients for his soup. Soon he heard music, a fast, twirly kind of music. And then, a voice. "2 steps left, 1 step right, spin, 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 and ta-da!" Benny peeked through the trees and saw Tammy the turkey, twirling and flapping her wings in a fancy red dress. "Tammy," Benny called, stepping onto the grassy clearing. "What are you doing?" Tammy stopped mid-spin and dramatically flipped her feathered fan. "Why, I'm dancing, darling! The Tomato Tango!" Benny's nose twitched. Behind, Tammy was a big basket of bright red tomatoes piled high like juicy little jewels. "Ooh, tomatoes," Benny said, licking his lips. "Can I have one for my soup?" Tammy gasped and held up a wing. "Wait, a tomato cannot be simply taken, my dear pig. It must be earned." Benny's ears drooped. "Oh no, do I have to answer another riddle?" Tammy shook her head. No. You must dance." Benny's eyes went wide. "Dance, but I don't know how to dance the Tomato Tango." Tammy fluffed her feathers. "It's easy, just follow me." She took 2 big steps left, 1 step right, spun in a circle and wiggled her tail feathers. Benny gulped. "All right, here goes nothing." He took 1 big step left. Oops, too big. He stumbled. He took 1 step right, but oops, his hoof landed on his own ear. Then he spun around. Whoa, too fast! His chef's hat flew off his head and landed right on Tammy's beak. Tammy stood still. The hat covered her whole face. There was silence. Then Tammy burst into laughter. "Oh, Benny, that was the funniest tomato tango I've ever seen," she giggled, handing him a big round tomato. Benny took it, grinning. "Thanks, Tammy, that was fun. Maybe I'll practice my dancing for next time." "You'd better," Tammy said with a wink. With his tomato safely in his basket, Benny the pig waved goodbye and continued on his journey. He had a carrot, he had a tomato, now he needed an onion, and to get one, he'd have to solve a tricky puzzle. Chapter 4, The Onion Puzzle. Benny the pig's basket was getting heavier. He peeked inside, one crunchy carrot, one juicy tomato, but he still needed more ingredients for his soup. As he walked deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller and the air smelled a little spicy. Then he spotted a tiny wooden bridge over a bubbling stream. And right in the middle of the bridge sat Oliver the owl, perched on a stack of 3 jars. Oliver blinked his big golden eyes. "Who goes there?" "It's me, Benny the pig," Benny called. "I'm making the best soup ever and I need an onion. Do you have one?" Oliver fluffed his feathers. "Indeed I do, but I cannot simply give it to you. You must solve my puzzle." Benny gulped. "Oh no, I'm not great with riddles, and I'm even worse with puzzles." Oliver chuckled. "You'll do fine, Piglet Chef. Here is my challenge." Oliver flapped his wings toward the 3 jars beside him. Each jar had a label, Onions, Apples, Mystery, but the labels are all wrong, Oliver hooted. "To win your onion, you must figure out which jar is which," Benny scratched his head. He tapped the mystery jar. This one could be anything. Then he sniffed the apples jar. Sniff, sniff, his little pig nose twitched. "Wait a minute," Benny said. "This smells like onions." Oliver's eyes twinkled. "Oh, what does that mean?" Benny thought hard. If the jar labeled apples had onions, then the onions jar must be wrong too. He grinned. "I got it. The jars need to be switched. The one labeled apples should say onions, and the one labeled onions should say apples." Oliver let out a proud hoot. "Correct, Piglet Chef. You are smarter than you look." Benny wagged his curly tail. "Hooray! Do I get an onion now?" Oliver reached into the correct jar and pulled out the biggest, juiciest onion Benny had ever seen. "Here you go," Oliver said, handing it over. "This will make your soup extra tasty." Benny placed the onion in his basket and smiled. "Thanks, Oliver. That was fun, kind of tricky, but fun." Oliver nodded. "Cooking is all about solving little puzzles. Keep at it, Piglet Chef." With a happy oink, Benny waved goodbye and trotted off. Now he had a carrot, a tomato, and an onion, but he still needed one last ingredient, a little spice. And to get it, he'd have to climb the tallest tree in the forest. 9. Chapter 5, The Spicy Surprise. Benny the pig trotted happily down the forest path, his basket feeling nice and full. He peeked inside. 1 crunchy carrot, 1 juicy tomato, and 1 big round onion. "But my soup still needs a little kick," Benny said, wiggling his nose. "Something spicy." Just then he sniffed the air. Sniff, sniff, something smelled, warm and tingly. He followed the scent until he reached a tall, twisty tree, its branches full of little red chili peppers. And at the very top sat Spicy Sam the Squirrel, nibbling on a nut. Benny cupped his hooves around his mouth. "Hey, Sam!" Sam zipped down the tree in a blur, stopping right in front of Benny. "Pig, you're just in time. Want to try one of my famous spicy chili peppers?" Benny's ears wiggled. "I do. I need one for my soup." Sam crossed his tiny arms. I could give you a chili pepper, but first you have to do me a favor." Benny gulped. "Oh no, is it another riddle?" Sam shook his head. "Nope." Benny sighed in relief. "You have to climb my tree and bring me the golden acorn from the very top." Benny's eyes went wide. "The very top? But that's so high," Sam grinned. "Then you'd better start climbing, Pig." Benny took a deep breath. "All right, I can do this. I'm brave, I'm strong, I eep." He grabbed the tree trunk and wiggled his way up. He climbed past fluttering leaves. He climbed past a sleepy owl, not Oliver, a different owl. He climbed past a buzzing bee, who thankfully didn't seem to notice him. Finally, he reached the tippy top. And there, glowing in the sunlight, was the golden acorn. Benny grabbed it and carefully slid down the trunk like a piggy playground. Slay! He landed with a plop right in front of Sam, holding up the acorn. "Here you go!" Sam's eyes sparkled. "Whoa, you actually did it. I was kind of hoping you'd fall into a pile of leaves first. That would have been funny." Benny pouted. "Humph." Sam chuckled and handed over a bright red chili pepper. "A deal's a deal. This will make your soup spicy and delicious." Benny carefully placed the chili pepper in his basket and grinned. "I did it," he cheered. "I have everything I need." Sam clapped. Then what are you waiting for? Get cooking, pig. Benny oinked happily and ran toward home, his basket full and his heart full of excitement. It was time to make the best soup ever. Chapter 6. The Best Soup Ever. Benny the pig raced home, his basket bouncing with every step. He had everything he needed. One crunchy carrot from Benny the bunny, one juicy tomato from Tammy the turkey, one big round onion from Oliver the owl, one spicy chili pepper from Spicy Sam the squirrel. This is going to be the tastiest soup in the whole wide world. Benny oinked excitedly. He hurried into his cozy kitchen and plopped his basket onto the counter. He put on his striped apron and his too big chef's hat, which immediately slipped over his eyes. Whoops! All right, he said, rolling up his sleeves. Let's get cooking. He chopped the carrot. He diced the tomato. He peeled the onion and maybe cried just a little, and he carefully added the chili pepper. Then Benny filled his biggest pot with water, threw in the ingredients, and gave it a big stir. Bubble, bubble, bubble. The kitchen filled with the yummiest smell. It was sweet, savory, and just a little spicy. Benny sniffed the air and sighed happily. Perfect. Just then, knock, knock, knock. His friends had arrived. Benny opened the door to find Benny the bunny, Tammy the turkey, Oliver the owl, and Spicy Sam the squirrel, all sniffing the air with big, hungry eyes. Is it ready? Is it ready? Bunny asked, hopping up and down. I'm simply starving, Tammy said dramatically. Oliver nodded. Smells wise and delicious. Sam rubbed his belly. I hope it's spicy. Benny grinned. Come on in. The soup is ready. He ladled the soup into big warm bowls. His friends gathered around the table, spoons in hoof, paw, and wing. Benny took a deep breath. This was it, the moment of truth. All right, everyone, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Everyone took a big spoonful and slurp, their eyes went wide. Then this is the best soup ever, they all cheered. Benny beamed. Really, you like it? Tammy flapped her wings. Like it? I love it. Benny the bunny wiggled his ears. It's sweet and crunchy, Oliver hooted. It's perfectly balanced. Sam wiped a tear from his eye. And the spice! Oh, the spice! It's beautiful! Benny's heart felt warm and happy. He had done it. He had made the best soup ever. But more importantly, he had made it with his friends, and that made it extra special. As they ate, laughed, and told stories, Benny knew one thing for sure. The best meals aren't just made with good ingredients. They're made with adventure, friendship, and a little bit of fun. The end.